Do you want to add toggleable themes to your React 19 application? In this tutorial, I'll show you how to implement dynamic themes with Shadcn UI and Tailwind 4.0. I'll walk you through the entire setup process, then demonstrate a cleaner, simpler theming approach than my previous method. Whether you're building a new project or upgrading an existing one, you'll learn how to create a seamless theme switching experience with minimal code. I'm working with the Electron Vite boilerplate that uses React 18 and TypeScript. You'll find the link to the starter template in the description below. Though I am using this specific setup, the techniques I'll show you will work for virtually any React project. Let's start by upgrading to React 19, then implement Tailwind CSS. Though we will follow the official Tailwind installation guide, I'll be making some key adjustments along the way to ensure everything works smoothly with my Electron setup. After running the Tailwind install command, we'll add the Tailwind Vite plugin. You might notice a TypeScript error pops up. Don't worry, we'll fix this by adding module resolution to our tsconfig file and setting it to bundler. Next, we'll configure our global CSS. In this project, I'm using base.css. I'll replace everything in this file with the Tailwind directives, then clean up by removing the unnecessary main.css file. In main.tsx, we'll update the import to use our base.css file instead. When we run the project, you'll see it works but appears unstyled. That's exactly what we expect after removing all the previous CSS. We'll address this soon by implementing Tailwind styles, theme modes, and custom colors. For now, let's move on to setting up Shadcn UI in our project. Since my project structure differs a little from the standard React application, I'll need to follow the manual installation process for Shadcn UI. First, let's add all the required dependencies. Then we'll grab the configuration code for the tsconfig.json file to ensure everything integrates properly. Next, I'll copy the global CSS snippet and paste it into the base.css file. Don't worry about perfecting this just yet. We'll modify it shortly to implement our dynamic theming system. Now for the crucial part, adding the utility helpers and the components.json configuration. Pay special attention to the CSS parameter here. It needs to point to your global CSS file. Since mine is located in a custom directory, I'll update this path accordingly. The aliases in the configuration are particularly important. They determine both where new components will be placed when using the Shadcn UI CLI tool and how they'll be referenced within the components themselves. Let's test the setup by adding the button component. Interestingly, I encountered a strange issue when using bunx. It throws this error when attempting to add components. Switching to npx immediately solves the problem. I suspect this might be related to Shadcn UI using the canary channel when using Tailwind 4.0. I noticed the button component didn't end up in the expected directory. Instead, it created a literal @renderer folder, which isn't what I wanted. The issue appears to be in the components.json file. The alias don't seem to handle references to other defined aliases. Let's fix this by specifying the complete path for the UI property. Now, when we run the CLI command again, perfect. The button component is now in exactly the right location. To set up the dynamic theme presets, the process is straightforward, though it involves a fair bit of copying and pasting. If you take a look at the Shadcn UI website, under themes, you'll notice a variety of predefined color themes. To incorporate these and allow users to select and apply them dynamically, we'll need to start by clearing out the contents of the base.css file. Just make sure to keep the top 3 lines intact. I'll explain the purpose of the doc custom variant a little later. Next, I'll add the @theme inline. This block will act as a template that we'll use to define all our other themes. For example, if we visit the Shadcn UI theme site and grab the code block for Zinc Light theme, we'll paste it into the custom data theme Zinc Light section. You'll notice that I have made a slight modification by wrapping the color values in HSL. Don't worry, you won't need to do all this manually. I've actually already done the heavy lifting for you. All this is in the GitHub repo link below in the description. Once I have specified all the theme variants I want for the app, I will implement them so that the component colors dynamically reflect the selected theme. I'll need to add a theme provider component. This will wrap around the entire component tree, enabling me to get and set the theme from anywhere in the app. But before diving into that, I'll define some types. Specifically, I'll create a theme colors type to ensure I know exactly which colors are available. This should perfectly match what I just added to the base.css file. The rest of the types in this file will handle props and states. In the theme provider.tsx file, I'll define the initial state and create a context. Right now, we only have light and dark themes defined. However, if a user happens to select the system theme, I'll need to account for that as well. One crucial detail to note is that we'll need to add a dark class to the top level div whenever the theme is set to dark mode. This ensures that Tailwind CSS knows when to apply dark theme styles. As for color changes, this is specified using the data theme props. Remember how we specified these in the base.css file as well? Next, I'll add a useTheme hook that returns the context. This hook will allow me to easily access and update the theme from anywhere within the child component tree. Finally, we'll need a way to toggle between different theme modes directly from the UI. To do this, I'll create a theme mode toggle component. This is essentially a simple button that, when clicked, will randomly cycle through the available color themes and switch between light and dark modes. Now, let's add some UI elements to the homepage that will dynamically update with the theme. In the app.tsx file, I'll wrap everything with the theme provider we just created. This ensures the theme context is available throughout the app. Next, I'll add some text and a button to the page. Then I'll drop in the theme mode toggle component we built earlier. Let's test it out and trigger a theme change, and it works perfectly. The color updates seamlessly and the theme toggles between light and dark modes just as we intended. If you found this tutorial helpful, I'd greatly appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. Your support not only motivates me, but also lets me know to create more content like this.